in the United States, there are over 270,000 choirs, with nearly 43 million singers participating in those choirs. And every single one of those singers needs sheet music. In fact, schools, churches, and other professional music organizations spend $1 billion a year on sheet music. In the US alone, there are over 500,000 organizations that purchase sheet music, and many of these organizations have multiple ensembles. So think choir and band and orchestra. This includes every educational institution from elementary schools through universities. It includes church and civic ensembles, and it includes professional performance groups. Now, each one of these organizations has a budget for purchasing sheet music that ranges from $500 to $20,000 a year. They're always looking for the newest music to perform. And the problem these buyers have with traditional publishers is that there's limited access to new music. Some publishers only publish 10 pieces a year, some publish 80. And that's because there's a long production cycle. It can take anywhere from 12 to 18 months, sometimes longer, for new music to see the light of day. And the publishers will let pieces go out of print. They let them die. So a piece can go out of print or it can sit on back order indefinitely. But with a digital marketplace, buyers have virtually unlimited access to new music, and it's available instantaneously. And it's available 24/7, never goes out of print. So who's selling this music? So these are our professional composers. And there are over 1 million professional composers registered in the United States. And they compose all genres of music, so think choral, band, orchestra, jazz, marching. And these composers are fed up with traditional publishers because traditional publishers take copyrights and control away from composers. They only pay them 4 to 10% royalties on everything they sell, and they don't let them know who's purchasing and performing their music. With a digital marketplace, composers can retain their copyrights and control over their music. They can earn up to 70% of everything they sell, and they can be connected directly with those musicians who are purchasing and performing their music. And so we built the MusicSpoke marketplace. MusicSpoke is a digital marketplace that allows music educators and other professional musicians to purchase the sheet music they need directly from the composers they love. Our buyers love MusicSpoke because they can hear and see the entire score before they purchase it. And when they're ready to buy it, it's available for immediate digital download. There's no waiting for printing or shipping or back orders. In fact, our buyers rave about how easy we make it for them to find and purchase new music. Now, our composers love MusicSpoke because they can maintain their profile and their scores all in one place. And they get connected directly with those musicians who purchase and perform their music. In fact, our composers rave about performances they've had all over the world and connections they've made that were not otherwise possible. But let's face it, composers are great at making beautiful music, but digital sales and marketing, not their forte. The real value that MusicSpoke provides is that we take care of the business of composing so composers can get back to making art. Now, as a marketplace, MusicSpoke retains 30% of all transactions, and right now our average transaction is about $70. Since launching in the summer of 2014, MusicSpoke has grown to 125 professional composers, 1,000 scores, and nearly 10,000 buyers on our platform. And if you think about those scores as unique SKUs, we've sold over 85,000 units. Our compounded monthly growth rate continues between 10 to 15%, and right now our compounded annual growth rate is at 311%. And we are the team to execute on this. I previously built and sold an award-winning marketing services company in just 5 years. I've been a part of incubators and accelerators, and this year I'm a 2017 Pipeline Fellow. And Kurt is our industry insider. He's a composer, a performer, a music educator, and a conductor, and he sold over 100,000 copies of his music worldwide. Our advisory board consists of founder-level experience from other startups that range from music tech to marketplaces, and we have a multi-Grammy award-winning conductor as well. MusicSpoke is building the premier marketplace for artist-owned sheet music by professional composers, and we're excited to be doing it from right here in Kansas City. Thank you.
burning question is, I love marketplaces. I know how hard they are.
Yes.
And why are you not global?
We are global. We have composers and sales all over the world. When I do these types of presentations, it's easier to talk about US numbers just because it's easier to get access to that marketing research. But just last week, we had a $400 sale to the University of York.
Am I only allowed to ask one question?
I think just one.
Okay.
Do you have like
So,
part
okay,
two?
well, I'll play off on the marketplace question. Marketplaces are often built so that you can have bolt-on other things. And and I've known you now for several months, and I'm thinking I've never thought about how you could connect these organizations who are playing the music and the artists in some other way to create revenue, whether it's revenue for the Cincinnati Children's Choir because they're performing that music. I mean, do you have any bolt-on ideas to your platform that
Yes.
might make more revenue from other sources?
Yes, and we do have additional ways to monetize the platform on both sides, actually. So just like Etsy has programs for power sellers that they subscribe to, we have a vision to create these same power tools for our power seller composers that help them promote themselves. The direct connection that we facilitate between the composers and the music organizations and buyers often leads to commissions down the line. So for the composers, and so that's something that we have in mind to build into our platform as well down the road. And then there are always ways to add fundraisers and things like that for schools too. Yeah.
First, I just want to compliment you on your pitch. It
Thank you.
sounded super polished.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very,
It was
very well done.
So when you laid out your market, it seems like there are a lot of choirs and other folks who need sheet music, but maybe it's a fragmented market. And so how are you today and in the future planning to market your service to that
Yeah.
market?
Yeah, that's a great question. We picked choral music to start because we had to pick some place to start. We actually have all genres on our website now. We're just not as well known in marching band and jazz band and orchestra and things like that. So while we're filling out that choral catalog more fully and engaging with influencers in that market, we have our eyes on moving into band next and then orchestra after that. And we'll be we have influencer conductors in the space. So we'll be utilizing our influencer conductors that are in those categories to take us to those other verticals. But ultimately, MusicSpoke, right now we're a curated platform. Ultimately, we can open to a full long tail model. There's no reason why we can't have the mariachi store on MusicSpoke or the a cappella store on MusicSpoke. So there are a lot of verticals we can add within the niche as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you, Jennifer. Woo.